Hello and welcome to Tonic Studios. My name's Alison and today I'm going to show you how to make the bits and bobs box. Today I'm going to show you how to make the bits and bobs box. That's not very easy for me to say. I'm getting a bit tongue-tied with it. So this is our die set. It's a very, what is the word I want? I can't think, but there's a lot here.
Packed.
Packed will do. Full. We'll have that. That wasn't the word I was thinking, but that'll do. That's the perfect die. It is packed to the gunnels and there is so much variety in this box. So I'm just going to show you a couple of little things to do. There is instructions that come with it, but don't forget you can always pop a comment down below. You can always ask questions down below and we will always answer them for you. So let's make a start. So I'm going to show you this little box here. So I'm going to show you how to make the drawer. But I'm also going to show you how to make this little insert as well. So I'm going to start from inside out. So I'm going to start with these little boxes first. These little boxes are made with this die, and the whole of that is one box. And we're also going to use one of these little dies here to pop a layer. Oops, let me grab the die. We're going to put a layer inside the box as well. So let's pop that to one side for a sec. So what do we need? As I showed you, it is just this die that cuts our shape, and we've got the layer. So when I'm making this, I want to be looking into the box. So I'm going to have all my tabs on the outside because I'm not really going to be looking at those. So I've got your top side inside the box. So I'm going to fold all my tabs first. There we go. And the little tabs around the outside. And then before we go any further, I'm going to pop the layer on. It's easier to do it while your box is flat. So a little bit of glue on there. And you need to try and get it central. You do have a little marking where the die has made a little bit of a deboss. So try and get it nice and straight and lined up around the edges. So my tabs now are going to go on the outside, so the inside is kept all neat and tidy. There we go, wipe off any excess glue and just work around it like it's a windmill. And by the time you get to the other end then, they should all be dry. The reason why I use wet glue rather than tape, you can use tape, entirely up to you. I find the glue holds better, you have more longevity of your project as well. Make sure when you get to the end that both tabs are ready to be glued on the outside of the box, because it's a little bit more difficult when you're trying to manoeuvre a tab outside when it's sitting inside your box. There we are, last one. A little bit of glue there, and that's my box complete. So I've done 3 already because I didn't think you'd want to watch me gluing all these together. So you can see it makes a lovely little pattern, and we're going to pop another box right in the middle there. So the next box, pop them there for a sec. What do we need for the next box? This is going to be, if I bring this back in, it's our little square box that's sitting in the middle there. And let me pop that back. So we need this die. So we're going to cut 4 of these, and we're also going to take the larger of the squares on the top there. So I'll pop that back now, because you know me, I'll put it somewhere and I'm bound to lose a die, aren't I? I can't be doing that today. So there's our 4 outer shapes and our base. So we're going to fold the tabs again, and again I'm going to have the nice side, the top side on the inside. So we're folding them in the opposite way to the way we would normally do it, because normally we would take everything backwards. There we are. And the next one. Okay, so I'm going to glue these around my base. So we're going to make like a little cross in the centre and then bring the sides up. However way you like to make your boxes, or you may have a different way, entirely up to you. But this is just a 4-sided box with a base. I think we all have our little favourites, don't we? So the next one I'm going to go opposite. So you're gluing along the larger of the tabs. Pop that on top. If you bring the side up, you know then that you're glued right up to the edge. And your box should be no wonky edges then. And the last one in place. Let's give them a good press. And again, I'm going around the outside of this box, because you're not going to see it. And you know we like to hide our workings.
Keep all the secrets inside.
Yes. We like people to think that we are magicians with paper.
Mm-hmm.
And card, obviously. A little bit more. Oh, I didn't hold that long enough, did I? I wasn't very kind to my glue.
Be kind to your glue.
There we are. Next one. Once this is in place, then we can glue all the other boxes together. And then we're going to build a drawer around it then. You can start from the outside in. I just thought it was easier to start from the inside out. This is one of those where you need your plan before you start. What are you going to create? It can evolve as well. You know me. I'm a crafter that never has a plan to start with. I'm not like Leo. Leo's got it all planned in her head first. I'm very much an evolver. So there is our little box, and these will sit around the outside of this. Make sure they're all glued together. So we'll pop a little bit of glue on there, and we'll glue the first one into place. So all those bits that we've got the tabs on are hidden. So now I need to glue 2 sides this time. Bring your next one in. Make sure you push all these edges together so you don't get any gaps. Makes it look neater at the end. There we go. Next one, bit more glue. Again, push it together. And then your last one can go into place. There we are. And give them all a good pinch. You could pop some little pegs on these if you want to, so they will all hold in place while you're gluing your next part of the project. There we are. Make sure you're flat on the base as well. So that's your first part. Quite cute, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Be a nice little desk tray on its own.
It would. It would. Right, so our next part now is going to be the outer part of the drawer. So bring in the next part. Let me show you on the die. So I am using, you've got 2 square dies around here. So I am using the smaller of the 2, because it fits inside the outer casing. So the bigger one is the outer casing, the smaller one is your drawer. So I'm cutting 2 of those, and I'm using this die here. No tabs on either side, because that is the smaller of my side dies. And I also need 4 of these little tabs. So let's pop these back in place, and then I know I'm not going to lose them then. Let's shut that up. So there's our 4 side panels and our little tabs. So fold your tabs first and your little ones. There we go. And the tab on these. Okay. So this time now I'm keeping the top side to the outside of my box, because you are going to see this. So we're working in the opposite direction to the part we did on the inside. I'm going to stick all these tabs in, so we're going to make a long snake. A little bit of glue on there. And then this lines up to the outside. So you want to see just a little bit of the crease, because that is the corner of your box. And then we put one on the other side. Just check it, turn it over just to check that you're in the right place. And I'm pretty happy. I can't feel anything there. I'm very happy with that. So I'm going to do the same thing now. Put 2 on the other one. Pop that one in place. You can put 1 on each one, but make sure you've put it on the same side going around, or put your 2 corners onto the same die cut rather. Right, let's check that we're in the right place here, and we're very much not. There we go. And the other one. There we are, lovely. So my two plain sides now will join to this. Make sure your tabs are all the same way, because you're going to have a bit of a strange looking box otherwise.
Catching a bit there.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Sorry. You know I like a little catch. There we go. So the next one now is one with a tab. Pop that one in place. Give it a little press. And your last one then. Up to the end. So I'm looking at my top line here, making sure all the die cuts are in a line, and if they're in a line on the top, then they're in a line on the bottom. So I'm going to join these now together. There we go. And you can, because it's a square, you can just press down. I always think it's easier if you can press straight down onto the counter.
Agreed.
There we are. So that is our drawer. Now you can pop the lining in, and you can add one to the bottom if you choose. Don't have to, but you can. So I'm just going to pop some glue around the inside. Oh, make sure I got the right side up. In place. Give it another press. Let's get my little paper creaser to go around the edges. So that is the next part. I'm now going to pop the pattern. Oh, it needs another press. I can see I'm popping off for there. And we're not having none of that today.
No. No popping off.
No popping off. There we are, that's better. Give it another little press. There we go. Okay, so I've got a layer now. Our layers are, you choose which pattern you want out of these four. Love the patterns in this. So we've got almost like a chicken wire.
Mm-hmm.
We have a lovely circular trellis. We have a tartan trellis. And we've got a rainbow. So there's beautiful patterns to choose from in this. And I've glued my two layers together. This is going to sit on the front. And then I'm going to pop my handle in place.
That pattern you're using almost looks a bit like Moroccan fretwork, you know, on the front of
it does.
furniture.
It does. It's lovely. I love the patterns in this set. Wipe off your excess glue. So try and make sure that you're pretty central, so you've got the same border all around. And then we're going to take two handles and use your handle piece. It's got a gorgeous deboss fleur-de-lis either end. Now the reason we've cut two is to give it a little bit of rigidity, a little bit more sturdiness. You have little fold lines on the end. So I'm just going to tuck those up first, and then I'm going to glue together. pop it on both ends. There we go. I am going to leave this to glue together just for a couple of seconds before I start shaping it, because obviously I want that glue nice and sturdy.
Yeah, if you try and shape it while it's wet, it's just going to slide.
Yeah. So I'm going to pop my drawer to one side for a second. Now we're going to make the outer casing. So let's bring this one in. The outer casing is going to be 2 of the largest square, and then we're going to have 3 of the panels that have got the extra tab on them. So it's this one. So these are going to go around, no, because I'm on the top like that. That's how I want these. I've got to think now, see. So I'm going to pop these on first, and then I'm going to pop extra tabs on top. So that's how this one is made. So we need 3 of those, and it is this tab here this time, because we need it the full length of the box. So it's this one. So I think I'm going to pop those on first. So we'll fold these in half.
I love that you have the versatility of this. It can either be a closed in drawer, or it can be a lid with a hinge.
Yes, it can. This could make your hinge for your box. So if you wanted that, you would just pop that on the edge, and there's your hinge. That would stick to your box below.
And then that piece would also give you the rests for your lid on either side, wouldn't it? If you put them on the sides as well.
Yes, it would. Very ingenious little box.
It is. It's so, there's so many different ways that you can build it and configure it. I really like that.
This is a Jodie box.
It might surprise you. You might have imagined this would have been a Toby creation with all of these options.
I know. But no, it's a Jodie box. So I'm going to pop these on first.
Jodie is kind of becoming our queen of transformable things.
Yes, she is.
So she is the brains behind Santa and Friends, obviously. So you had 3 characters in one die set there. The Triple Towers, obviously. You had your windmill, your Helter Skelter, and your lighthouse in that one. There's other things coming up that are also transformable that we won't discuss yet. But yeah, she's very good at making a die set do more than one thing.
I think it's the fact that she's got 2 young girls. I think that's what it is. Okay, so last one now. So as you can see, if you glue all the chamfered edges together, then they will all line up.
So you want the sharp edges on the top, and then the rounded edges go onto the side pieces.
Yes, they do. So let's make sure that's right. Come back down a bit.
Whereas if you wanted to have the lid flapping up, you do it the other way. You'd have your rounded edges being on top, because they're your more decorative edges, aren't they, for your lid to rest on.
There we go. So there's all my edges in place. So now I'm going to work around, and I'm going to pop my sides in place. So we're kind of doing the same as we did with the little box in the middle, but we're just making it bigger. And we're going to put a lid on it. I'm just going to fold them for now. There we go. So we'll pop that one in place. So again, I'm looking at the lines here. They need to be in line with each other. Then we'll pop the next one in place. And this time, I don't need this extra tab here. So I'm going to chop that off. but I will need the tab on this side because this is obviously going to be the front of my drawers.
And if you're making it into a full box, you would leave the
You would
tab
use
on?
the whole floor?
The whole floor.
Four. I told you couldn't get my words out today.
Oh, don't. I've had too many days like that recently.
It's just these teeth are not working. So again, I'm checking my front edge is straight. So we're all in line there. And the last one now is going to go on the other side. So I'm going to give that an extra little crease.
Mine's not behaving, no?
No, we didn't want to fold very well.
How rude.
I know, terribly rude. So that is my last piece, and obviously there's no tab at this corner here. So we'll have a little bit of glue there. Move them out the way. There we are. And I don't know whether you can see right at the corner here, I haven't glued my tab quite straight. So what I'm going to do, if this happens to you, just pop it off.
Snip it off.
Yes. Right, next bit now. I am going to glue the side pieces together now. So we're building our box from the base. There we are, give that a pinch. And the other side.
Can we have that a bit less cutchy? Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Just so we can see what you're doing.
Do I not want to share today?
Apparently not, no.
I'm being a bit mean, am I? So now our base now is going to glue to these. So I'm going to do the back first, because I find it easier. So pop this one on. Again, line up with your sides. Make sure they're in line. Give it a good press. There we are. And you can feel at the back then whether you're where you should be. If you can feel it sharp, then you're a little bit too far over. And then the next side. A little bit of glue there. I'm going to pop my glue on this side at the same time, because I may not be able to get in as easily. There we go. So I'm checking the corner here. Are we in line here? I think these are all the things that make a more professional look when you're making these projects. There we are. You can turn it over and give it a press with your paper creaser.
Where would we be without precision creasers?
I just couldn't cope without them. I couldn't cope without that, and I couldn't cope without my pokey tool.
Or your crafter's pick for giving it its professional
Yes.
real name.
Yes. Commonly known as pokey tool. Okay, so I've pressed that in place. I'm checking the edge here. And there we go. So there is my outer case then. And again, you could make a couple of these, pile them all up. Go as high as you want or as low as you want. Entirely up to you. So our drawer is dry, so we can pop this inside. There we go. You can glue this in if you want to. Your choice. We'll pop the handle. I think it's a bit of a trunk drawer. It's probably weighted differently now I've popped the inside in. So I'm going to curl the inside piece, and again obviously using my creaser. So that is the kind of shape you're going to want, and then we're going to glue just the outer edges onto our box. So am I about right there? I kind of think I am. I'm lining it up. I've got two diamonds here, 2 there, so I know I'm central in my box. I can look at the top and the bottom. Are they lined up? And I'm pretty happy with those. So, decoration for this now. I'm shifting back and forth, aren't I? How rude of me. So I'm going to pop the side panels on.
This comes back to our podcast name, While the Glue Dries.
That's it. Well, we give it a little couple of seconds, don't we?
That's it.
Give it a glue and then leave it.
Move on to something else while that bit of glue is drying.
There we go. Next one. Pop that on. Round again. And pop that one on. There we go. So that's our panels for the outside. I've got a panel for the top now. So this is, let me just think. So we've got the full red panel. So we've used the large square for the red, the next square in for the burgundy, and then we have all these little panels then to go on top. So I'm going to glue these all flat because it makes my life easier. And then I can transfer the whole lot then onto the top of my box. You can pop these on foam pads if you choose. The other thing I would say as well, when you're doing these little drawer fronts, especially the ones with the library tabs on them, have a look, do you have any brads in your collection? Because they look lovely bradded. There's a little hole there, but there is also, if I bring this die in here, you also have a die that makes faux brads as well, which I think is divine.
Be perfect for a drop as well.
It would. So now I'm going to see how far do I need to come in with these. So we'll do a trial run. I think I need to come in a little bit more than that, but it's up to you. You can line up on the outside and have a larger panel on the inside, but I think I want to come in possibly about there.
I guess you could also use the die.
Yes, you could.
To help you align everything, couldn't you?
Yes. Good thinking, Batman.
Well, that's my one good idea for today.
There we are. Pop that in place. And you know there's no guesswork then, is there? I tell you what.
Tape it.
I'm going to pop a little tiny bit of tape. Because you know what's going to happen, don't you?
You're going to knock it?
I am going to knock it. So I'm going to make sure that my border is even. And I'm going to put that in the centre. Well, a little bit further over there, I think. There we go.
I would have put that on the outer edge because I'm going to need to glue over the middle.
That's okay, I'll start down here.
Okay. Good plan.
Just making sure we're all level. I'll start down the bottom and then move up to the other ones. There we go. First one.
That's far easier, I think, to line up with a small border like that than to try and judge the entire space.
Good plan there. You've done this before.
I mean, I've not actually made this, but I've certainly used dies to help me line things up, yes.
It's a good plan. There we are.
I always think the bigger the thing that you are lining up with, the easier it is.
Yes, yes. So I'm going to peel that little bit of tape away from there. And we'll pop that one in there. I've still got a little bit of wiggle room as well. So if you're thinking, oh, I'm not sure, don't press them down yet. Give yourself a little bit of a wiggle, just in case your die is moved or you've nudged it. There we go. I'll take that away. And then I'm pretty happy with that.
Nice.
And then we'll pop the one in the middle.
Yeah, some foam pads on this would be excellent with
It would.
giving it the bit of extra dimension.
There we go. Now I can press everything in place. And then we'll pop this on the top. And obviously adding more layers gives more sturdiness to your box as well. Press all that down. There we go. So there's my drawer in my box. So I've got one more thing to do now. I'm going to pop some feet on there. Now the one thing I would advise you to do, which I haven't cut today, but I would advise you double up on these feet. Because obviously depending on how thick your cardstock is and depending on what you've got in the box as well, if it's very weighty, may even triple up. So take your foot, fold it, fold your tabs at the end, pop some glue, and right on the very corner, sorry if you've got my head in the middle.
No, you're fine. That's it.
There we are. And then just hold it in place.
I always think when you double up on feet, you can make it a feature. You can add a drop shadow
There
or
is-
highlight or something.
I'm going to bring one in now that has got a little bit of a highlight. So if I bring this one in, if you can see on this one, the inside of the feet are black and the outside are silver.
Nice.
And there's a tiny little bit that peeks out from underneath that is black. Because obviously it's the width of the cardstock. But you could put 3 layers or more, depending on how much of a feature you want to create, how sturdy you want the legs to be.
Like if you wanted to make more of a drop shadow, you could always cut the glue tab off, so you're just sticking the pieces
Yes.
to the edges.
Yes, you could.
Not onto the bottom of the
Yes.
box. And then you could bring it down a little bit more.
So I would just stick that inside, and hopefully you can see there's that tiny, tiny drop shadow. I'm just going to pop it on the 4 corners for now. But I would definitely strengthen the legs.
Yeah. And make sure you use a good heavyweight cardstock for that part.
Yes. Yeah, I wouldn't use a 216. Because there's going to be a lot of weight on these little feet. And especially if you're popping anything of substance inside.
Lots of chocolate, hopefully.
Oh, yes. Homemade cookies.
Nice.
You can tell it's time for Alivenzas.
Yes, it is.
There we go. There's your 3rd foot. And the last one. I can't wait to see what you're going to make with your boxes, because I'm sure you've got some amazing creations planned in your mind. Don't forget, tag us in your makes. There'll be a link below this video or you can do hashtag show Tonic and we can pick up your makes there. Also, if you've enjoyed this video, give us a cheeky little thumbs up. Hit that notification bell and you'll be told every time we launch a new video. And share it with your friends. Tell your friends about us, because we do like that. We like new people to come and join us. We like to share the love around. You know, we got lots of Tonic love to share. But that is your little bits and bobs box.
Brilliant. Love it.
This will be available on the website now. So shop away. Happy crafting.